dog. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and today I'm joined by Eric.
New Joe.
Today, we're back for some more Santa Barbara. We're only discussing 3 episodes, but we're also going to be watching one, which you can view on our Patreon page when you subscribe to patreon.com/Queers and Soaps. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. All right, so we're going to be talking about episodes 67, 68, and 69. I guess we can get the teens out the way. Danny
See,
and
you were all judging McJudgerson last time. Like, oh, I don't like ghost stories, and it's like fake. So, in your face.
yeah, I was rolling my eyes so hard when the ghost Slimer thing appeared. I was like, "Are we really doing this?" I was like, Thank God it was fake because I would have stopped watching the show. Honestly, I would be like, "I can't do this anymore. I can't. This is
You're
what I signed up for."
ridiculous.
If I wanted to watch
You're
Passions, I'd watch
ridiculous.
Passions. But rewinding a little bit, Danny went out with the prostitute that Jade warned him was a prostitute.
What was her name? I forgot. Did she have a name? Can't remember.
I don't
I thought
remember
it was a
either.
cool name. Yeah, I don't remember.
Um, but when she like asked for payment, that's when he realized that Jade was right. Didn't he have like $1? That's all he had.
He had $5.
Oh, it was
He had
5 bucks.
$5. And you get a kiss for $5. I'm like, so, and her normal price is 80. I'm like, what do you get for 80? Is it just like a beat,
A hand job, maybe.
I know, because I feel like that's pretty cheap for I mean, it's 1984.
It was 1984. Things were lower in price,
Yeah, right?
including sexual favors.
Yeah. That was funny though, and I like that Jade was like making fun of him after that.
Um, so yeah, they decide that they're gonna do a seance of sorts to get the ghost out. It was so ridiculous. I was getting so angry.
I was hysterical. I thought it was great. That's the best storyline they had this far.
You think that's the best?
Yeah. I don't like the teacher shit.
Yeah, sure. I'm glad we're not at the
I
school.
did I did like the Hollywood stuff, but you didn't. But I like this one the best.
The Hollywood stuff I liked at first, and then it just felt like it went on for so long, and that's why I didn't like it.
It was the summer.
Yeah, I guess.
Summer story.
But so they get freaked out, and they run out, and then we find out that the guys that are messing with them and trying to rob them, I assume, um, one of them wasn't he like the original owner? I feel like we've seen him before, the skinnier one.
I think so, but then like it shut down, so yeah. And one of the guys, by the way, the old man with the facial hair, I forget if
Uh-huh.
the other one had it. He was the old guy. Did you watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Yes.
He's the guy on the train when Pee-wee gets on the train and he sings Jimmy Crack Corn and I don't care, Jimmy
Yeah.
Crack Corn. That's that guy.
Yeah,
It's
he's a
that
character
guy.
actor. I've seen him in a lot of things, like older
I
things.
was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, it's the guy from Pee-wee. And he did Pee-wee like a couple years after that.
Yeah,
I
I
thought it
knew I
was
knew
funny.
him. I just couldn't like say what because he's in a lot of things.
Leave it to me.
Yeah.
Pee-wee, of course.
um. So unfortunately, episode 67 was also Dane Witherspoon's last episode.
I was
As
fine with
well.
that because the new Joe is good. Like he's really good. I honestly, his voice sounded the same to me. I was like, sounds just like Joe.
He's not bad. I'm just adjusting to him. Um, it's probably good that they introduced him in disguise because that helped, I guess, with the transition.
I was fine with it.
But
But
seeing
I know him from Edge of Night now, so I like them already on there. So he's a good actor. I like
he's
him.
cute.
He is. He's cute.
I don't think he looks that much like Dane Witherspoon though.
No, you don't have to look. I mean, you can't get a look-alike to be someone.
Yeah, it helps.
I mean, there's been a lot of recasts we've dealt with through the years, and they have different hair colors and stuff. So
Yeah.
he's fine.
Yeah, I guess it was more It was more jarring for me when he was in bed with Kelly. I was like, oh, this feels like a different character. 'Cause we were But anyway, so we're jumping ahead. Kelly was kidnapped by Ginger and her goons.
Mm.
She's in the backseat of a car, and the goons are waiting for word from Ginger that she's got the money from Peter. I know Peter wants to rescue Kelly, but last that we saw him, he looked like he was just like, I don't care. I really don't care what happens. Like, blow my life up. I don't care. I'll die right now. I don't care. I'll drive this car right off the cliff.
Yeah. I don't know what his end game is because like this was a chance to get rid of Ginger, but he
Mhm.
doesn't. So I'm like, I don't know.
Because she was the dressmaker when the cops arrived, and she was playing the
Okay.
whole she was unconscious or whatever, or she was blindfolded and she didn't see Kelly get taken or whatever.
Yeah.
But because the cops are there, they investigate her background and they find out who she like that she's Ginger and that she has a criminal history. um,
Hmm.
who told Kelly? Oh, Joe. That's later. I was gonna say who told Kelly about Peter's past, but it's Joe. It's later. Um, so Joe is with not Damien. What's his name? The guy that's a girl
Uh,
that's pretending to be high.
oh, Dominic.
Dominic, not Damien.
Dominic.
With
Damien.
Dominic, and they're kind of lurking in the shadows, watching like this standoff happen because the cops are now around the building where Ginger is with Peter, and Peter has brought 2 suitcases with $1 million.
Yeah, I think it's a no.
I laughed when she like picked up the suitcases, I guess, to see if they were like how they felt, and she was like, "Yeah, that feels like $1 million or whatever."
Yeah.
But because the police are surrounded, she's like, "You better figure this out," and he's like, "Are you really threatening me right now?" So he tells her she has to go, but he won't let her take the money. So that
He
was
says
almost like
it's
a waste, I feel like.
he says it's like Mark bills anyway, so even if she tries to use it, she won't be able to.
Oh, okay.
That's
Do you
what it
think
was.
Mason believes him now that
No,
he helped save Kelly? No?
no, not at all. Because he's like, oh yeah, you're like the hero now. Like he's like so suspicious. And he knows that Ginger is bad, and he knows about their connection. So
Right. So anyway, they save Kelly.
mhm.
She's in the hospital. Um, Joe goes to see her. I laughed when he went into the room and she's like, excuse me, like this is a private room. You can't be in here when he was like pushing things to like block the door.
Yeah,
um, but that's when we see a part of the new Joe's face because he takes the hat off and the wig or whatever. Um, so we also learned that um, Cruz and Eden have a past. It seems
yeah,
that they had a relationship before the show started.
yeah. That confused me. Um,
And I
there
thought that's where they were headed because the way they've been speaking since she arrived made it sound like they had a past.
they talk. Yeah, like it's a past, but like, did they ever like each other? Because it sounds like they didn't ever like each other. I don't know. It was weird. I'm confused by it.
I feel like it was a sexual relationship, like they weren't actually a couple,
You think?
but I'm not sure. And in her flashback to when they first met, um, Cruz had a very thick accent. I'm like, what is this
Right.
that he's
I,
doing?
I I thought the same thing. I'm like, how long ago is this? Like, what are we supposed to believe
I
here?
think
Like,
she said 3 years. Like, you lost your accent in 3 years.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, is he joking with this accent or like
But
this?
also, if you were here 3 years ago, why doesn't Lionel know what you look like and that you look like is it Sophia that he thinks she looks like?
Right? Yeah, I'm confused. But I'm thinking it's just not good writing for that stuff. It's probably they're still trying to get their shit together. It feels like
Right.
to know what kind of soap it is.
I didn't think we were gonna see Santana, but we did. It looks like she's just, like, partying with, Gina in Paris.
Yeah, she's just staying close to her to spend time with Brandon, and that's all I guess she's doing right now.
Gina's like I should try to move on from my husband. He died a while ago. It's been like 3 weeks. He
Ever
died
since
a
you
while
said
ago.
every time like you since you said that she's like theatrical now, like I saw it this week. She's like freedom, and I was like, I'm like, this is what Tommy's talking about. I never noticed it before until you pointed it out. Now I'm like, that's all I see.
But yeah, she was like, "Yeah, no, he was a nice guy. He took care of his responsibilities, like his child and me, but like I'm still young. I gotta move on." And I was like, "All right,
Mhm.
well, do what you gotta do, I guess."
Do you, girl?
But I mean, if we're to assume that Santana's being honest with her with this, we find out that Santana actually does care about Cece.
Hmm.
So that's weird.
Yeah.
Because she was talking about how she was in love with Channing, but she's also in love with Cece. So she's in love with all the Catballs.
Well, she doesn't like Mason.
Yeah. Mason likes her though.
She just uses him for information, I think. Then she's like, okay, I got what I needed. I'm done.
Right. Um, so we had some scenes with Warren and Summer. That's her name? Summer?
Yes.
Nothing about the coins that I
No.
heard anyway. Did you hear anything about the coins?
No.
But he kept alluding to that he did something terrible to protect his father who did something terrible.
Yeah. Do you think that's true? Like, you don't think he made that up or anything?
I think it's true,
Okay.
but I feel like he's talking in code, so he's not actually telling her what he did.
Right.
But I think in a roundabout way, he's talking about him stealing the coins.
That's what I was thinking too. So I'm like, is this coin related? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I took away from it, that it was coin related. They
Okay.
get stuck in an elevator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That was fun.
he made some comment about him not being in his red shorts. He's like, "I'm actually more overdressed than I usually am," because he was actually in clothes.
Shorty shorts for the beach. He's a lifeguard, right?
Yeah, I wonder if they, like, are gonna, like, sway away from him being a lifeguard now. If
Yeah,
that
because
was
I
just
think
for, like, the summer.
yeah, because they could still probably do that since they're in Santa Barbara. Like it's nice weather there all the time. So
So I feel like for a rich family, like the Lockridges, they should probably have their own business, right?
they should. Well, the Lockridges do, don't they own a hotel?
Yes, but I feel like wouldn't they have, like, a company like, comparable to Capwell Industries?
That I'm not sure about. I don't really know their company. I don't even know what the companies do
Right.
exactly.
Rich people stuff. Real
And
estate business.
me and Nisha were talking about that with our As the World Turns On. We're like, what are these companies? Like they're just companies and there's people in charge of them, but they don't really say exactly what they do.
And they just shuffle papers around and make it look like they're doing something important.
I'm taking over
Answer the
this
phone, set up
company.
that meeting with the
Right.
investors.
Of that meeting for this company. You know, so, like I don't know. It's weird. But we literally were talking about that this morning.
Really?
Yeah, it was really funny.
Um, so Peter, because everybody thinks Joe is dead, is talking to Ginger, and he's kinda got like a maniacal look on his face because he
Mhm.
saw Joe at the hospital in disguise, and he put together that it was Joe because Joe,
Mhm.
like, his hat fell off,
And
and
he
he was
didn't
just, like,
tell
looking at him real
anybody.
close.
And he didn't tell anybody else that Joe was alive yet.
Yeah, so now he thinks he
Mhm.
could kill Joe and get away with it because everybody thinks he's already dead because he's been proclaimed legally dead.
He actually can.
Yeah. So, I wonder if that's how the recast leaves the show, Peter kills him.
Well, I know this guy lasts a year, so I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I've read mixed things on that. I've read that he doesn't stick around long, but then I've seen that he goes to 85, but
Mhm.
then I'm like, is it just like he makes like a one-off ghost appearance in 85 and they say it's a year?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, who knows?
Um, I did see a promo for what's coming though on Instagram and like a retro soap thing. It was
Um,
you may have sent it to me. It was the earthquake that's coming.
oh, I think I might have.
Yeah.
Um, were you mad at Eden? By the way, I was mad at her at one part
You were mad? Why?
because she went to visit Kelly in the hospital and she was an asshole to her. I'm like, your sister was just in peril, and now you're telling her that like she needs to be with Peter. I'm like, who are you to
I
get
wasn't
involved
mad
in
at
this
her.
relationship? Huh?
I wasn't mad at her. I thought she was just like, "Oh, Joe's dead, so you might as well be with Peter." Like, I don't know.
Well, when Kelly, she's like, well, I don't want to be with Peter. Like, stay out of my business. Like, I don't know. I felt like she was overstepping for sure.
I really like Ted and Kelly's relationship. It's sweet.
Oh yeah. I was like, wait, you mean Lakin? But yeah, Lakin and Ted were on.
Also when Ted thought that well heard that Kelly was in danger and Lakin was like, "I'm gonna be there for you," and she was like, "I love you." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "We're saying I love you." Did I miss something? Did I have they been doing that? I
Right.
thought we were still doing the like I like you, but I'm not saying that I like you, and now I love you. And we're only 3 months into the show.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like the show moves at breakneck speed and then it like comes to a screeching halt.
I know. It's weird because I feel like the drama's like amped up right now. So for them to
Mhm.
have an earthquake, I feel like it's gonna be crazy amped up.
Well, so one of the episodes, probably episode 68, was
Mhm.
Halloween. So we're officially in November now. So the earthquake must be the November sweeps stunt.
Yeah.
So maybe
I was
people will
thinking that
die.
too. Yeah.
So we had Amy and oh, what's his name? Brick.
Right. Yeah.
He got her that interview with Augusta.
Yeah. They were being cute.
She's she's cute. I think Amy's cute. I don't know. I like watching her.
Yeah, she's good. I like her.
She's got good screen presence.
Yeah.
I would like to see her interact with Jade and her brother a little bit more. I mean, she's
Yeah.
kind of interacting with Joe because he's on the run.
Right.
He came into the office and she was like, "Oh, sorry, you can't be in here." And he's like, "It's me, it's your brother."
Yeah, yeah. That was funny in that costume or whatever he was
So he's
wearing.
pulling off the disguise.
Mhm.
Were you happy that we didn't see Asshole Dad?
Yes.
And
Always
now that I
happy
said
with
that,
that.
we'll probably see him in the episode we're gonna watch together.
Maybe he'll die in the
Maybe,
earthquake.
maybe.
So if we watch an earthquake one and he dies, I might cheer.
Then you'd
I'm
be like,
like,
"All right, now I'm fully invested in the show." Got him.
thank you, earthquake.
Um, so now, oh, so Joe did we mentioned this before. Joe ended up telling Kelly about Peter's past, that he was a prostitute, and that
Yeah,
Ginger what?
that was funny.
Actually, he said whore, didn't he? A male whore.
She's like, he's a who? She almost smirked too. I
Wasn't she
wonder if
like,
he
"No,
meant to
he's
do
like a
that.
teacher."
It was so funny.
And he's like,
Right.
"No, when he was young, she was like she, like, found him and took him in and was his pimp."
Right. And I thought, and I'm like, dude, I would have been like, oh my God, that's awful. Like, she was like smirked. She's like, he's awful. And then it like cut.
I'm really curious to know what the disagreement was about. Like, did Dane not wanna wear that disguise? Like, what like, I don't understand what why he was fired.
I don't either. I don't know. I have to look more into it and see
Because
what
if
the
he didn't
problem
wanna
is.
do something and then he was fired, they're clearly still doing the thing that he didn't wanna do with somebody else.
You're right. Like that's the thing. Like I guess we'll see, or maybe he didn't, or maybe they already did it and he didn't like his character direction. That's like, I don't know.
Maybe.
But I feel like who are you? Like did you come from somewhere that you feel like you can say this? Like I don't know. I don't know. Not that I mean, I'm good. I'm glad he stood up for himself with whatever he wanted, but he got fired. So did you
Right,
get what you wanted or you know what I mean?
right.
I mean, he did get what's her name in real life, so he was with her for years.
Mhm.
Robin Wright, but
It's
I don't
sad
know.
he died so young.
Right.
He was,
And
like,
then she stayed on the show,
50.
so I wonder if she didn't back him up, or she's like, "Dude, why'd you get your ass fired?" Like,
Maybe they started dating after he was gone, like, maybe they just, like, kept in touch and were hanging out, and then their relationship developed.
yeah, yeah, it could have been anything. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll never know.
Yeah.
But was there anything else you wanted to mention before we go?
Um, I don't know. Hold on.
You don't know.
Um, I did like Eden and Cruz's chemistry this time. Remember, we were unsure of Eden. I like their chemistry. But they like kind of get on my nerves too because they bicker constantly.
That's all they do.
Right?
That's all they do is bicker, like,
Right. And I'm like, is this gonna be their storyline? Because that's gonna be annoying. It's just gonna be like a hate sex. I don't
it's
know.
gonna be like a what is it, enemies to lovers situation.
Yeah. I think we covered everything. I mean, we only had 3 episodes, so
Episodes.
it was easy. Cece was in it. Oh, Cece and Mason were like fighting about Kelly.
Okay, I forgot that they recasted Cece in the first episode. Yeah, it was whatever episode where the cops are surrounding the building, and I was like, "Who
Yeah.
is this guy?"
I didn't forget, but it did take me a minute because I'm so used, I'm CC overwhelmed with CCs. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, is that a government agent or is that CC? Like I knew he was there. And I'm like, I wasn't positive of who it was because it's been a couple weeks. But yeah, so I feel you there. Um the ghost stuff we talked about. Oh, I did like when Ted was over exaggerating the ghost stuff. He's like, "Oh, let me call the ghost," and like he's like, "Ghost, come here," and then like they actually like got haunted again or fake haunted, and then like he's like, "Sorry, ghost," and then they all like ran out. So I'm like, is this the motel stuff over, or are they still gonna redo it, remodel it, or whatever?
Maybe it'll get destroyed in the earthquake that's coming.
Oh, there you go. All that hard work just to be.
So yeah, so once I found realized that it was fake, I was happy with that, but you really have to suspend your disbelief for how they made everything happen. Like,
Yeah, right.
what was this floating orb thing that turned
Like
green like Slimer
right, like
as
two
they
old
played the
men,
Ghostbusters theme?
2 old men can just like pull that shit together.
But whatever, I'll accept it as long as it's not, like, real.
Well, no, I think he said one of them was a magician, so
Okay,
maybe he did use because he's like, "Oh, you pulled out your magician stuff or something."
yeah.
I feel bad for Peter. I know he's may want to kill Joe, but I still feel like this Ginger has control over him, and because of what she did to him, like I don't know. I just feel, and I feel like this might be his first love, like Kelly might be,
Mhm.
and I just feel for him. Like I feel bad for him or something. Like even though I know I think we might are supposed to be like not liking him, but I just feel bad for him.
I don't think
I feel like he's traumatized.
I don't think as a society we were talking about trauma and sexual abuse, especially with men, because I feel like society didn't view sexual assault as something that happens to men.
Right.
So I don't think we're gonna go there because we weren't there mentally yet as a
No,
society.
we're not, but at the same time, they're kind of writing it like that. Like I feel like it's writing he is traumatized and you can clearly tell.
Mhm.
So I feel like they might be writing that. And I thought the same thing, but Peyton Place goes to several places um mentally and stuff, and that was in the 60s. So I'm sure it's around. And I feel like a lot, like a lot of time like TV does go there
Yeah.
where but reality doesn't. Like in real life,
Yeah.
unfortunately, they weren't going there in real life. But a lot of like TV writers, like the character of Allison on Peyton Place, we always say she's autistic. Like if you watch, like autism didn't get brought up until I would say like 20 years ago, like more so, where
Mhm.
like more awareness and stuff where this girl is clearly autistic, but they
Yeah.
don't say that back in the 60s. but she clearly is. So one of the writers must have had an autistic family member and acted
Right,
like this, and this is how they write it.
right,
But they just don't address it.
right.
Like that's the thing. Like they don't get her counseling or they don't try to figure things out to like help her along.
Well,
She just
because, like you said, probably up until 20 years ago, people weren't being tested for autism, so they didn't even
Mhm.
know if they were autistic.
Right. Like she just up and leaves town. Like just runs away. That's how she handles problems.
Really?
Like clearly there's something wrong there. um yeah, let me just double check my oh, I like that Cruz and Eden talked about being in France and she's like, why were you called Pepe in France? And she's like, yeah, but like why Pepe? Like what? I just thought that was like a
Pepe Le Pew?
weird it was like a weird random conversation that they had and it just cracked me up. Um Oh, and Kelly when Kelly came to see Peter, Ginger was there, but she
Mhm.
didn't say anything to her. So I'm like, is she just acting cool so nothing happens to her? Or because that's how I think that one ended with her being there. And then Ginger's like, oh, I'm just gonna leave and you can
He
talk to
said,
Peter.
Wait outside," or whatever, and she's like, "Okay." Um,
Yeah,
I
I
was
thought,
laughing because Ginger was like I didn't know if she was being serious, but she basically was like, I start over all the time, I can start over anytime and do anything." And
yeah,
then she was like, "Maybe I'll get a job as Kelly's dressmaker," and Peter was like, "You better not."
yeah, she already was, right?
Yeah, like, "Maybe I'll permanently be her dressmaker."
Well, Kelly's on to her now, so
Yeah, so that's not gonna work out.
yeah, so I'm excited to watch the next one exclusively on Patreon. I can't wait to see it. It
Yep,
was a good week or a good 3 episodes.
yep. Alright, well, thank you to our regular YouTube subscribers for tuning in for another episode of Santa Barbara. We're gonna head over to Patreon to watch episode 70 together, so come join us over there, subscribe, and watch it with us. And as always, you can find us on all the other socials at Queers and Soaps, and until next time, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.